just like you would at a live job fair. Take the first step to a brighter future. Visit 97.3 ESPN's virtual job fair at 973ESPN.com and the 97.3 ESPN app.
South Jersey's play-by-play home for the Eagles,
Touchdown!
Sixers, and Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD Millville, Atlantic City, a Town Square media station.
The following program is paid for, and the opinions expressed are not those of Town Square Media or station advertisers.
Welcome to the locker room.
Vince Papali, welcome to the locker room.
I can smell it already, Billy. What's happening, buddy?
Ron Hayes, welcome to the locker room with Billy Schwein.
Yeah, hey, Billy, how you doing out there?
Rich Gannon, welcome to the locker room, Rich.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be with you.
Great Bob McElwee, NFL referee.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Craig Berube. Craig, welcome to the locker room.
All right, thanks, Billy.
We have the real Pat Croce in the locker room.
Get me off the bench, Coach.
And now here's your host, Billy Schwein.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the locker room with Billy Schwein and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN. It's a wonderful Sunday morning, and it's wonderful to share the studio with the one and only PT. What's up?
Billy, I got a surprise for you.
All right, lay it on me.
Now, you know that I normally have a towel around my neck often. You know, it's not even that
Yeah,
warm
you know
today.
what? I do notice you don't have a
Well,
towel
when I was fatter, I needed the towel all the time because I was constantly sweating. Now I don't. And, you know, you can hang meat in here. I mean,
yeah,
it's
that's
always
right.
cool
I
in
like
here.
that. I like
But
that.
instead of just my regular towel, I'm so excited about today's show. And I know this is radio, but on the StreamYard, you'll see this.
And by the way, we are broadcasting live on my YouTube channel, The Locker Room with Billy Schwein, and my Facebook page, Billy Schwein.
So if you're just looking at this towel and you think, oh, big deal, right?
I
It
have
says
one I
Fighting
like.
Phils. Hang on, wait for it.
Yeah, World Series 2009
So, and yeah, I mean, where do you think I got that towel?
at the game.
Would you like to see the beer stains and
Guess
the
what?
mustard on the back?
I have one of those.
Well, I'm just saying, I would have brought the 08 one, but
Yeah, I got the 08 one, I believe.
I think that one's in a box somewhere. I mean, you know, this one was just
We'll set up the show. We got a big show today. Set it up. Come on, man. And by the way, you put a nice message out there on Facebook and Twitter. I like it.
I woke up early to do that for you. Listen, you got to promote. We have a great show today at 10:30. We've got Tommy Greene for our Out on the Mound segment, brought to you by Aaron Beta's Golf and Sports Performance Club, GSFitness.com. He's with us every Sunday, but we love having Tommy on, especially Billy, when we've got like a no-hitter that was thrown against the Phillies.
Right.
I mean, there's so many questions that come out of that. You saw how many pitches it took to
Because
throw
on
that
May
no-hitter?
23rd, 1991, Tommy Greene threw a no-hitter.
Yeah, but he did it all by himself.
Yeah,
he didn't need
that's right.
four other guys to do it.
Five pitchers total that day.
That's correct.
Yep.
1 + 4 is 5. So Tommy Greene's going to be on at 10:30. We're looking forward to having him. And then, thanks to some scheduling snafu yesterday, I get the benefit of being able to answer the phone when Charles Fuqua Manuel calls in.
Fuqua.
That's his middle name.
I know, but don't call him Fuqua.
Why would I do that? But Uncle Charlie's going to call in. We hope. Fingers crossed.
I hope he'll be.
He's going to be here at 11 o'clock with us on the show. And then, and you asked me if I knew this guy. He was at Temple before me.
Right.
So I kind of knew the legend of him. But I finally got to meet him at one of those Philly sportswriters banquets a couple of years ago. That's Paul Palmer, former Temple Owl, Heisman candidate, right? Kansas City Chief, best buddy of Bruce Arians. Well, I don't know about that, but he played under Bruce Arians, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to be honored at that sportswriters banquet, which is now tomorrow night. And normally that's in February or January. It's February. I think it's President's Day weekend. They normally do it. And there's still tickets available for that. And you know what, Billy? And you know what, Billy? This is the first one post-pandemic.
Right.
So I think that with the scheduling and kind of like you got to plan so far out and stuff, and, you know, the NFL draft and people are in season and Flyers are done. And they sat there and they said, you know what? who's the greatest hits of Philadelphia sports that we can round up. And so
they've
telling you,
got a plethora of stars.
They're going to have just from like off the Flyers. I think of Dick Vermeil's going to be there.
Right.
Okay, Dick Vermeil and Bill Berge. Boom.
Ron Jaworski.
There's two. Dick Vermeil, Bill Berge, Ron Jaworski. There's three big Eagles names, right? Let's go Phillies names, right? Who are the Phillies people that are going to be there? Larry Bowa, right?
I think it's just Bowa. I'm not.
Well, there's there's going to be other.
Oh no,
there.
I think Dickie Knowles might be there.
There you go, right? Maybe who knows? LC shows up. Who knows? You know what I mean? Yeah, there's going to be Phillies people there. Flyers people, Mark Howe, Bill Barber. I saw
Jimmy and Joe Watson,
the Watson boys,
Watson
right?
brothers.
Okay, who can talk for a country mile, right? And then who am I forgetting? Oh, Sixers, right? I don't know who's going to be there from the Sixers, but what I do know is college basketball. They'll probably somehow convince Jay Wright to show up.
I'm sure
right?
He'll be there.
Carly Lloyd's going to be
She's
there.
They honor her every single year.
Well, sure. So she keeps coming back. She's right down the street too. You know what I mean? Like you. I mean, who lives closer?
I live
Carly
literally
Lloyd
right around
or
the
you?
corner from where it's not the Crown Plaza anymore.
That is correct, but everybody calls it that.
It's the Hilton, I think.
Right? Who cares what the name is now? The reality is, in fact, when I promoted it, didn't I write the old Crown Plaza?
Yeah, you did.
That's how people do stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they do.
But that's our show. So Paul Palmer's on at 11:30. So let's just recap: 10:30 Tommy Greene, 11 o'clock Charlie Manuel, 11:30 Paul Palmer. Somehow, you got to let these guys talk a little bit so we can. It's only a 2-hour show.
But they don't want to hear. People want to hear them, not me.
This should have been the time that we should have blew the show out for another 2 hours.
Right.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Mike Rubel, station manager, where are you? Give us another 2 hours.
No. So yesterday after the show,
Look
so
at
we
your face. You're like, don't piss it off.
We anticipated Charlie called in yesterday, right? So right after the show, Mike Carlin hopped out of here, went down to the music pier in Ocean City on the boardwalk, and talked to Algretto and got in there and met Charlie and Melissa Manuel, and they were so apologetic, they were so nice, and so gracious, and they laughed
Missy,
about
I
it.
think she goes by Missy.
Yeah. So he left, and then I showed up. I had to pay Jeff because Jeff Dowling is a big Mets fan.
Oh, that's
we have
I thought you were going to say Jeff Dowling charged you to go see Charlie Manuel.
No. Jeff Dowling's a big Mets fan.
Oh, that's the guy I played the song for before.
Right.
Yeah,
and he's called up yesterday singing a song.
And after a no-hitter, you got to pay him. What did it take, like a year for you to pay that debt?
Yeah, it was from last year. No. It was for the first Mets series.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
But I did the
did
last.
you make a bet last night?
Okay. We're on. So today's the rubber match. So whoever wins, whoever wins gets the lunch.
Do you know that once in my TV career, I actually Googled what the origin of why they call it the rubber match?
Why?
It has something to do with like cricket, or it goes all the way back to like the game of
really?
cricket, and that there's a rubber involved in cricket or something that you
have to do with like the third.
Right. It has to do with like the third game it's not even the third. It's the deciding game of the run.
Right. Right. The rubber match.
But I did it because I was like, God, I write this all the time.
Because you're curious.
Yeah.
You're inquisitive.
And it was before I could go, hey, Siri.
So right. You just turned my phone on.
Yeah. Did it?
All right, listen. So
turn that thing down.
I pull up to pay Jeff his lunch at Playland. I stop by there, and then I go up to see my nephews at Preps, and then I said, you know what? I'm going to walk down to the music pier. And sure enough, there was Charlie Manuel up on stage. Melissa was up there with him, Missy. And there was a line a mile long.
Oh, yeah.
People getting their autographs. Yeah. Charlie Manuel is a very popular,
beloved
figure in Philadelphia. You know what? You win a championship in Philadelphia, Pete, you walk on water. Look at Bobby Clark, Jimmy and Joe Watson.
Yep.
Right? Dave Schultz.
Yep. They won two.
And that was how many years ago?
Let me get this towel up again. Let's get into this. Shouldn't this team have won another one?
They should have won 3. They won 5 National League championships.
Now,
NLC.
Who was missing from the 09 team?
Well, Jason, when did Jason Worth leave?
No.
Who was missing?
I'm talking about in 08, they won it all, right? In 09, Cliff Lee was dominant, right?
Right.
But who did not step up to the plate in 09 that was damn near was the World Series MVP or was the NLCS MVP in 08? That was not the good Cole Hamels in 09. Remember in 09, the guy was like, I can't wait for the season to be over.
When did Worth leave? Did he leave? He was going in 10, right? He didn't come back in 2010.
I don't know. What do you think? I'm Josh? I could just pull this stuff out of my head? I don't know when he left.
Well, I mean, he was a big one of the big reasons.
The bottom line is
one of the big reasons why they didn't win another series.
When Cliff Lee dominated the Yankees in Game 1, every Yankee fan I know was like, they were scared. You know what I mean? They were worried.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, between Hideki Matsui was the MVP of that series, but the guy that
Chase Utley had a big series.
Sure he did. But Hideki Matsui and the other guy I remember was Johnny Damon. Those are the two guys to me that were dominant for the Yankees.
All right, the Phillies got off the schneid from the night before.
So you watched last night? You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I watched most of the game. It was when Schwarber hit that home run, it was a 0-0. It was a pitching duel up until I guess it was the fourth inning?
When Schwarber, look, you got me doing it. Schwarber.
What did I say? Schwarber.
Yeah, you said Schwarber, like Charles Schwab. He's not a financial firm. When Schwarber, I have to actually think about this. When he hit that bomb, and changed things around, that was part of a 3-run 7th inning.
Right.
Up till that point, the stinking Mets had snicked out a run in the fifth.
Right, it's 1-0.
And it's grinded along, and you're thinking, I can't believe we're going to lose to the
That's
GD
right.
Mets
That's exactly
again.
what I was thinking.
And not for nothing, one of the Phillies rallies got killed. They had a man on third base with 1 out.
Double
that man was Dum Dum Herrera. Not O'Double. He doesn't get O'Double today. He gets Dum Dum. Okay. And he breaks for home on the ball, and that's it.
Hit right to the third baseman. I mean,
these are all questions we can't ask Charlie, but we'll debate about it before he comes on.
Of course, the Eagles did really well in the draft.
I thought the draft was outstanding.
I mean, in Vegas, the Eagles went from a 60-1 to win the Super Bowl to a 30-1.
But here's the kiss of death. Mel Kiper has given them the top grade of all the teams in all 32 teams in the NFL. So that's not good.
And then, of course, our 76ers play tomorrow night against the Miami Heat.
So I broke your heart the other night.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I
thought you were kidding.
You had no idea.
No idea.
Well, I blame Mike and Mike. And when I say that, it's not Mike Golick and Mike Greenberg, like who we listened to for so many years. It's Mike Gill and my friend Mike Sigmund. Right. Those are the two Mikes, literally within minutes of each other. I'm sort of sitting there. Now, let's think about that. Was that Thursday night or Friday night? That was Friday night, right?
Friday night.
Friday night. I'm sitting there watching the draft, right? Got the draft on. I got some, I'm flipping back and forth. It's one of those modern 2022 problems where you've got 8 things going on. You're invested in one. We're men, so we can't do more than one thing at once, And my
multitask.
phone, we can't. My phone, we're A to B, baby. You go in that store, you get what you want, and you go back out and return to the car. There's no 4-hour shopping sprees, but I digress. So anyhow, I get this text from Gil, and it's like a tweet. It's just the link to a tweet. And it's that Shams Charania guy, right?
Right.
And I'm like, huh. And then I look at another text, and it's from Mike Sigmund, and it's the same link. So I click on it, and I read the news that Joel Embiid's out, and I just thought, you've got to be bleeping kidding me.
So hopefully, they're saying it is an orbital bone, but then I heard it's a cheekbone. Do you have a definitive word on this?
We do, because I did my research this morning. Okay. I was up early.
Okay.
You are correct. This is his
right. You're telling me I'm correct?
Yeah, write the time down. It's 10:13 on May 1st of the year 2022. I admitted that Billy's correct.
Okay.
It was his left orbital bone when he ran into Markelle Fultz.
Right.
Now, and it was only like a hairline fracture or something like that. You know, I mean, and this one is his right side.
Right. Not the other. Never get the problem with the other side.
And again, I mean, the song, the cheekbones connected to the right. So I mean, the bigger thing right now is not the bone, it's the concussion issue.
Right,
so he's got there's a series of baseline tests that he's got to pass and stuff like that. But it is conceivable.
They did say it was a mild concussion. Does that matter, the degree of concussion?
It just makes you optimistic that he can return faster than if it
So he's going to have to wear the opera mask, right? Or the
Well, he's going to wear something. I mean, I know this. I didn't realize this until this morning, but he actually had an eye issue. He got hit in the face by a teammate at Kansas. And he wore goggles back then. So, I mean, this will be the third time in his career that he's had to have some sort of face covering or something. So, fine.
And then, of course, we'll talk with Paul Palmer, who's getting honored on Monday. So we got a big show lined up.
Yeah.
Let's get her going.
Let's get to it. Start reading those things.
All right. The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that help you through the entire process, From contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. My Winter Watchdog. Have you heard of New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog? You know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of time on the road, or if you're in Florida for the winter. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal, by the way, happy birthday, Debbie.
Happy birthday.
She had her birthday, I believe it was Thursday or Friday. Debbie and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or send Debbie an email, debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more here on a Sunday morning in the locker room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Sixers playoff basketball tomorrow on 97.3 ESPN with the voice of the
Vineland for Class A CDL road and city drivers with 1-year commercial driving experience. Join FedEx Freight and enjoy a competitive pay rate plus excellent benefits including medical, dental, and vision insurance, 401k, and much more. Apply online at careers.fedex.com/freight. Search for driver openings in Vineland. That's careers.fedex.com/freight. FedEx Freight is an equal opportunity employer, including disabled and vets.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson. Hey, PT, let's do something different today.
What would you like to do different?
Let's open up the
You want
text
me to
board.
be nice to you?
Yeah. All right. Let's open up the text board to the listeners. If they have a question for Tommy Greene, Charlie Manuel, or Paul Palmer,
Okay.
609-403-0973. Send your name, the town you're from, and the question for one of the guys.
All right, that sounds good. Put your name, the town, your question. 609-403-0973 is the text message board, and we'll load them up, and then we'll ask as many as we can.
609-403-0973. Tommy Greene.
I just noticed that, on the ticker, I try to put the thing on the ticker.
Right.
This is what the ticker currently reads, by the way. We have the NBA playoffs early with Bucks Celtics and Grizzlies Warriors, then Phillies baseball tonight on ESPN at the Mets starting at 7 p.m, here on 97.3
Right.
ESPN. I'm missing an R.
See that? Even you make mistakes.
I
PT.
do, but it's hard to type a lot of stuff
All right,
in 3
PT,
minutes.
since we're going in the next segment, we'll be talking with Tommy the Green, and Tommy basically gives us his thoughts on the week the Phillies had in today's game. Correct?
Pretty
That's
much.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to bring
We
up
don't ask him about hitting a lot,
obviously, but one thing I want to ask you before we get to the former Phils is, I like with Roman Quinn back in, he adds an extra dimension to the offense. Did you see? I mean,
I watched the whole sequence.
He gets a bunt.
It was outstanding,
right? And that makes the opposing team has to play more honest. When he's in the lineup, you get that bunt threat. Then he steals second, then he steals third, and then he gets knocked in on a sacrifice fly.
It was exactly the way. It's the epitome and the definition of manufacturing a run. But I thought, and I'm pretty sure it was John Kruk that was on the broadcast, I thought that the next time that Quinn was up, he raised the accurate issue that the Phillies have had in the past with Roman Quinn when Roman Quinn flied out. Right. Dude, if you're Roman Quinn,
he should bunt every time.
No.
Or just slap it the other way. Whatever.
Hit it on the ground is what you're trying to say.
That's right.
I guarantee you that you played a lot of beer league softball in your life, right?
No, never. I didn't play a lot of beer league softball. No, beer league hockey.
You never played any local softball?
I played local stuff. Yeah, I played in Ocean City for Playland for years.
Okay, so therefore,
when I was younger,
in softball, you want to hit down. It's such a gigantic ball. You want to hit down on the ball.
Exactly.
Right. If you
I popped everything up.
So no wonder you were not a success.
Well, because I was used to hitting a fastball.
Well, not for nothing. Roman Quinn needs to hit the ball on the ground, and that's my point. But yes, he's made quite a difference to be back so far. And you know what, Billy?
But look at
you haven't even addressed his injury yet. It's a miracle the guy's playing Major League Baseball.
He tore his Achilles tendon, right?
Ask Dan Marino how that did for the end of his career. Ask other guys.
Well, Brandon Graham's dealing with that, right?
Yes, but what
happened? Is he going to be able to come back?
Of course he is, because modern medicine isn't let's shine a flashlight on it and put some duct tape on you.
609-403-0973 if you have a question for Tommy Greene, Charlie Manuel, or Paul Palmer.
There is one text that came in early.
Good.
And that's our guy, Joey D. We love Joey D. Joey, you're a good man. And of course, he's smart too. He says, hey, I'm getting in before you even give out the number. That's number one. And then number two, like a good journalist, he asked two questions in one. So this is what he says. Good morning, guys. I didn't get a chance to catch the show yesterday. Forgive me if this was talked about. With the addition of A.J. Brown, are you worried that Coach Sirianni will go crazy with the passing game, or with our very good O-line keep a good ratio of pass to run? And second, if the Flyers get rid of Mike Yeo, is there any chance that Ian LaPerriere gets promoted? Joey D.
I'd like to see Rick Tocchet come in, be a head coach.
I believe that that's a possibility.
But he has not been contacted. I know that person.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they're going to want a name. Claude Julien, they're going to want somebody. It's really funny, too. And I'm good friends with Steve Coates.
Yes.
Right? And I think that enough time has passed that I can tell this story now. We were riding up in the car one time for a game with Coatsy when who was the coach before
Hackstall?
No, before
Berube?
Who was was it Berube?
Berube. Berube was after Hackstall, right?
Hackstall, when Hackstall had gotten let go.
Okay.
And they were going to bring in a new coach.
Right.
And they had names circulating around. We're in a car, and I bring up Mike Yeo's name. And infamously, Stephen J. says to me, Mike Yo. Who the bleep is Mike Yo? Right. And so I always have laughed about that because I said, when Mike Yo got promoted to be the interim coach, I chuckled and said, hey, remember when you said the guy would never be the Flyers head coach?
And he was fired in St. Louis when Yo was the head coach of the
Chuck Fletcher was the guy that fired him?
No. He was in St. Louis.
Okay.
He was fired. They were the worst team in the NHL in that division. And then Berube became the head coach of that team and took them to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, well, we're not getting Berube. Sorry, buddy.
Chief.
But and we might not be getting Tocchet. But all right, that's the second half of the question, Joey D. Now to the first half, A.J. Brown. Anytime from now until I see something different, I do not want to see the words A.J. Brown and are you worried anywhere next to each other. No, I'm not worried. I think this guy changes our offense dynamically. I think he makes Devontae Smith better instantly. I think the people that are worried about his production going down aren't looking at the fact that he had a rough year, and when he did come back, he was great in that playoff game against Cincinnati.
Well, he was injured. He was injured. He missed like 6 or 7 games, I believe, last year. Right?
Yes.
Something like that. Okay.
Every year
for Jalen Hurts to be successful, because Jalen Hurts' MO. He doesn't progress down he doesn't check down like he should quick enough. So he looks at his number one target and maybe his number one, his second target, and then he puts the ball away, tucks it away, and runs. That's what he did through his whole college career. You can't expect him to do anything different.
A.J. Brown played in 16 games his first season, 1,051 yards. 14 games his second season, was a Pro Bowler, 1,075 yards.
And then he went down to 800.
And then he went down to 13 games, so he missed 4 games last year.
And a total
869 and only 5 touchdowns. Right. But, you got
so his production went off. But do you agree with what I'm saying? And I've heard from several sources, one we've had on the show, that Jalen Hurts, he'll quarterbacks go through their check down, and if his 1 and 2 aren't open, he'll tuck the ball. He doesn't read them quick enough.
Well, that's the thing, is like reading defenses in the NFL is like a master's, a PhD,
right? You got to be
your bachelor's all at the same time. You got to be quick, and you're right. It's different than college. Look, when Jalen Hurts was the Eagles guy, there was a guy I trust who covers a lot of college football, and I saw him last summer, and he said, hey, I watched a lot of Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma. I watched a lot of he's not your guy. He's not your guy. He's not an NFL quarterback. Well, that's TBD. That's to be determined, right? And he might have made he certainly didn't look good in the last game of the season. But this is what I know. Now he's got all the weapons around him. Now he's got everything designed for him to succeed.
Right, Smith isn't going to get double teamed. Devontae Smith isn't going to get double teamed like he was last year. Now there's no way.
I'm sorry. You have Devontae Smith. You have A.J. Brown,
Chris Watkins,
right? And do you not have Dallas Goedert? And didn't they just draft a tight end that you're like, wait, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And the guy is like unbelievable.
Hey, listen,
in the sixth round.
Look, I'm not a big supporter of Jalen Hurts, but I'm not a detractor
either. That's Grant Calcaterra I'm talking about out of SMU. But he played with Jalen Hurts at Oklahoma.
But here's the thing.
Had some concussions.
I'm going to give
left the game.
Now he's got the tools, the weapons around him going in. Let's see what he can do. And then we got to draft capital for next year.
That's the whole narrative right there. I mean, people are like, for all the people that have hated on him, people want to give Howie NFL Executive of the Year right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm not a big Howie Roseman fan, but guess what?
You got to give him props.
Got to give him props.
When you get Nakobe Dean in the
what a pickup that was.
What was that, 3rd round, right?
That was the 83rd pick overall.
That's unbelievable to get a guy that people thought was going to be high first round. I understand why he fell.
2 guys are the best defense in college football.
Yeah. That's what you do. You want to improve your defense? Go get guys that went out and beat Alabama in the national championship.
Second hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that will help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988 8900 Assurity is celebrating 30 years in business, doing a great job. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli mid-size sedan of the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the main line, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the main line, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at RDS Auto Group at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. 609-403-0973 is the text board. If you have a question for Tommy Greene, Texas, we'll get it to him. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Major League Baseball this weekend on ESPN Radio.
We double check the incline here. This one needs to drain this way.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Plan your summer vacation now. Spirit Airlines is offering nonstop flights from Atlantic City International Airport to Boston, Atlanta, San Juan, Miami, and other exciting destinations. Book your low-cost flights today by visiting spirit.com.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson on a Sunday morning. And every Sunday we get a chance. What are you laughing at?
They got to make these commercial breaks longer. I'm sitting there talking to Tommy about golf courses we played, and all of a sudden I had to go, all right, sorry, 1 minute.
So today we got a great show lined up. We got 3 great guests. As always, we have Tommy Greene on Sunday for Phillies on the Mound, brought to you by
Aaron Beta's Golf and Sports Performance Club. Call 609-788-4661 or visit gsfitness.com for your free assessment.
And if you want to ask Tommy a question via the text board, 609-403-0973 is the text board number. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome in the man himself, Tommy Greene. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
All right, Tommy, through social media, get stuff coming across, and I saw something on Facebook that I thought was pretty cool. And it's, it doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but it just kind of makes you think. After 20 games in 1980 and 2008, the Phillies were 10-10.
Yeah.
What do those years have in common?
They won it all.
They won it all, and they're 11-11 now.
Yeah. So, hey, there's a bunch of games left, man. There's 140 games left. So, I mean, there's all kind of things can happen, but it's our job to kind of pick at them a little bit or praise them a little bit, whichever one it might be.
Well, Tommy, let's start with this. Since Billy gave out the number 609-403-0973 of the text message board, Tommy Greene with us on the Maserati, the Mainline hotline. Dan from EHT says, hey, guys, I'd like to ask Tommy if it's worse to get no hit by the starter or by a collection of pitchers. To me, it's worse that damn team couldn't hit anybody.
Well, I see that, but to me, it's the starter because you're getting continual looks at the same guy. If I was a hitter, I would the guy's got good stuff. He's having good stuff today, but you're seeing him over and over again. You're not to see him one at bat and then facing another guy. That's to me, that would be me because you get used to seeing that velocity or whatever it might be that he's throwing a little bit.
And that's what they say.
You got to tip your hat. You got to tip your hat to the Mets. They come in, the pitching they did was pretty good.
Yeah, but the Phillies are always notoriously famous for getting off to slow starts, especially offensively. You got like 3 guys under the Mendoza line, but you got a big offensive lineup. You expect runs, but they're not coming as often as you'd like.
Yes, I agree with that. I look back at the last week, and they've been shut out twice. Obviously no hit once, but they didn't score. Early in the week,
right?
So with this type of lineup, I expect at least score a few runs. And I was thinking when I started thinking of that, and I was like, I think back in the days of, just thinking of Dutch and the guys that I played with, the time I was here in Philly. They really, really took pride. It really got in their craw if they got shut out. And I can't remember. I know, especially in '93, it was like we never got shut out. We at least scored a run. You took pride in it. And that's what they did. That had to stick in those guys' craw because they've been shut out twice this weekend. And overall, you look at the numbers a little bit, and they're ranked 8th in baseball in hitting. Yeah,
that's it.
And and pitching they're ranked 21st, but the last 7 games, the last week they're first in pitching. So you see the difference in the move they made. It went from a 5, even week sort of or a losing week to a 5-2 week. They're pitching. They got like a 1-8 for the week. This past week. So it's we got to find a way to ham and egg together like that more often.
Well, maybe tonight's the night. Zach Eflin on the mound against Max Scherzer. Another great pitching matchup. National baseball. You can hear it right here on 97.3 ESPN. A couple things I want to ask you since you're our pitching guy, first and foremost, Tommy Greene. And, of course, we'll have the hitting guy on. We're going to have that guy on after you at 11 o'clock, Charlie Manuel. But did you see how many – we can't wait. We might have to blow out a second hour. Did you see how many pitches the Mets threw to get that no-hitter? 159 combined pitches.
Oh yeah, I mean it's amazing, isn't it? I mean, but hey, it got it done. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I threw 133 or so in mine, so what I threw. But
and you're one guy.
I mean, I think they had six. They had 6 walks that night.
No wonder that shoulder doesn't work as well as it used to.
Well, I know. Yeah, there's a lot of abuse to that thing, man. I didn't even look at the numbers, the Mets numbers. If they walked it, they walked a few guys.
6 walks.
Didn't they? I mean,
6 walks.
Yeah, you start running deep counts, and the pitch counts that get up. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. And if you're striking out a bunch of guys, and we got a tendency sometimes to strike out a lot, so. I mean, that's just the way it goes a little bit with the pitch count's concerned. You start fouling off balls and stuff like that and striking out, that's tough.
So since we have the manager, Charlie Manuel, coming on at 11 o'clock, Tommy Greene, let's ask you for your impressions of Joe Girardi now that it's been a while that he's been here. Because you know me, Tommy, I watch the game and I bitch and moan like a fan, but then I'll watch the post game and I'll analyze the questions and how they're asked. And I'm telling you, man, a couple of things strike me. Number one, you can't phase that guy. Post game, he's just, especially in the visitors. If it's a visiting situation, he's not sitting at the table with a microphone and cameras on and lights on when he's just sitting in the manager's office. And my girlfriend's impression was, hey, that guy's got some big arms. Tommy, tell me about tell me about Joe Girardi. How do you think he's doing?
Well, I mean, I think he overall, since he come here, he's done the best he can do with what he had. And a lot of times you can't do nothing about injuries that when you do have them that we've been hit with a little bit. And it comes about timing when you get the coordination. I mean, get the collection of guys on the same page a little bit. This is probably the best chance he's had of really doing some things with a good group of guys that got the track record of doing some things, and then he gets hit in the face with a short spring training and guys, 2 of his starters not really ready to go. All of them are cut short a little bit. So, he's doing the best he can. I think he's in his best element right now because it's basically reverted to American League Baseball. Since National League's, got the DH, which has also helped us because Bryce is able to DH and not sit. We get use of his bat. We hope he gets hot. Because he's tread water a little bit. He's doing okay, but hope that bat gets hot a little bit and the power numbers coming. So
we're talking with Tommy Greene on the mound with Tommy Greene every Sunday. Brought to you by Aaron Beta's GSF.
You're supposed to leave that to me. It's brought to you by Aaron Beta's Golf and Sports Performance Club. Call 609-788-4661 or visit gsfitness.com for your free assessment. Don't try to do that.
I was going to steal it from you.
Stay in your lane over there, kid.
Nicely done, PT. You need to stay off of it.
All right. Well, do you have a question for the former baseball pitcher?
Tommy Greene, let's talk a little bit about the Mets-Phillies rivalry. Is there a hatred for any particular team that you play, that you face? Like, what makes a rivalry a rivalry? Just because it's New York and Philadelphia, or is it the players?
It's not hatred.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's not hatred. When we got there, the Mets were when I played, it was one of the biggest rivalries. But sometimes you have some instances where you have teams that kind of rub you raw a little bit. Back in the day, St. Louis was one of those teams back in the day a little bit with the way they, did things and the Mets, the way they did things. But I tell you what, it was nothing better than that back in the day on a Sunday afternoon game playing the Mets because you had action up in the 500, whatever level it was. And about the 7th inning through the 9th inning, there was something going on that, man, they started, the fans, they got tired of a bunch of crap, and some of the best excitement happened up there. I sit there watching, it was WWF up there.
That's right. That's right. Hey, Tommy, since you bring up some fun stories, why don't we talk about this too? Or I'll just want to throw this in that when the Phillies played the Mets, and I think I said this to Billy one time before, we used to park in the Navy Yard for free. The guy that I had the tickets from was an attorney, so they were right on third base and right on the field. Very, literally front row on the field, right behind the tarp.
Watch your lips.
So, oh yeah.
Watch your lips.
So one time, the Phillies and Mets met up late enough that the Flyers were playing the Rangers across the street at the Spectrum. So we had one of those little portable TVs at a time where, you didn't have cell phones. You couldn't watch TV. And all of a sudden, like, we're kind of watching stuff, and we hear this guy say, like, oh, you got a TV? I'd like to watch the Rangers game. We'll give you some stuff if you let us borrow that TV in the bullpen. I look over, it's Big Sid Fernandez. And Fernandez is like, will you give us the TV? And I looked at my buddy, and I looked back at Sid, and I go, F off! and he starts laughing, and he's like, hey, you can't blame me for asking. And I put my hands up, and I go, you can't blame me for refusing. And he goes, all right, have a nice night.
That's Sid, man. I played with him a little bit when he was over here. So, I mean, he's a great guy. That's perfect. But there's nothing like the fans, I mean, in New York and Philly. I mean, it's that type of thing. Some of the god-awfulest things you heard when I was pitching, they're trying to get you to not concentrate. They call you every name in the book and talk about your parents, your grandmother, everything they can. And then, I mean, and trying to get you off your game to get you to just acknowledge them so they can rag you even more. But at the end of the game, you pitch a good ball game, they clap for you. Hey, good job. You did a good job tonight. It's that type of thing. And the Philly fans, I think, are that way too. Even though they razz people, give people a hard time, they appreciate good baseball, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So I mean, that rivalry is a good rivalry. There's good hometown. It's supposed to be a hometown favoritism a little bit. We're supposed to have the advantage, so the fans are in our corner, which is a good thing.
And another thing too, both fan bases travel well. Mets fans come down to the Citizens Bank Park, and you see a lot of Phillies fans up there in New York in the stadium up there.
Ooh, I went to a game up there. The best thing they had this gigantic piece of bacon. And it was like $8. It was like bacon on a stick. Right? And I was a little fatter then, but who cares? I'd still get it now. I was like, I want that. And I bought it, and the Phillies won the game, and there was like a home run in Utley's corner, and it was like the greatest night of my life to be at Citi Field. And I don't really love the field, but to get that bacon and see the Phillies win and be able to kind of give them the ha-ha-ha to the Mets fans, woo, it was great.
All right, Charlie.
And your doctor gave you a talking to the next day.
Yeah, my cholesterol level went through the count.
All right, Tommy Greene, as always, we appreciate the segment each and every Sunday on the Mound with Tommy Greene, brought to you by
Aaron Beta's Golf and Sports Performance Club. Call 609-788-4661 or visit gsfitness.com for your free assessment.
Tommy, we'll see you next Sunday.
Hey, looking forward, pal.
All right, take care, Tommy. Fairways and greens, buddy. Fairways and greens.
You too, man. Hey, always.
There he is. Tommy Greene on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. I want to remind people the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. From the shortest center city and every place in between, Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Just about everybody in this area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunick.
By the way, I'm in for the next one.
So the
I think it's May 24th.
Yep. I saw he said I was carbon copy.
I'm there. I'm going. Who should be my plus one be? I mean, I can't take you. You're already in the club.
I'm already in the club.
Who should I take? I guess my question is, should I take my girlfriend or should I take a guy?
No, just don't take anybody. Just come, just you, me, and I guess Quas.
Well, what if he's extended a pair of invites?
I don't know.
So I should probably.
That's up to you. For every month they hold a private event.
I know a local business owner that I might take.
There you go.
Okay, keep talking.
Philadelphia and South Jersey to attract over 200 top business people.
See, there you go. I know a local business owner.
If you have an interest in attending one of these events,
he's listening to the show right now.
See it's a fit for your business. Send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com.
And he likes chicken wings.
Give him a call.
I'm just trying to hint so he knows that it's him.
They got, by the way.
Oh, see, now here you go.
Well, the spread's great. Any of these Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine events, the spread's unbelievable. No matter where you go, it's unbelievable.
And where's this one again? It's at
I think it's a country club, Medford Country Club, I believe.
I think so. It's in my phone.
I've been there before. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
All right. Where was I? All right.
It's called Jersey Man Magazine. We love Ken Denick.
Give him a call. Give him a call. 856-912-4007 for more information.
Oh, one track bar.
All right. And when we get back, we'll finish out the first hour, get you set for hour 2.
Why don't we do our favorite Charlie Manuel stories to set that up a little bit?
609-403-0973 is the text board. If you have a question for Charlie Manuel, 609-403-0973. Pete Thompson and I'll be back right after this.
Coming up on the next edition of the Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
Hey, it's Mike Gill. We're back on Monday.
A new fusion of flavor, friendly competition, and fiery foods. That's the Chili Knockout and Spicy Food Fest, Saturday, May 21st. Orange Loop Arena, New York Avenue in Atlantic City. It's an opportunity for culinary discovery. Chili Knockout is a food festival devoted to exploring all things flavorful and spicy. It's an interactive, you be the judge, chili cook-off, and a day out with friends and family, supporting this seaside community culinary scene. It's a kickoff to spring like no other. Tickets are available now at chilliknockout.com. Produced by Good Time Tricycle.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson. They're talking about a rivalry, the Mets-Phillies rivalry. A great article in the Inquirer today. Scott Lauber.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Harper versus Francisco Lindor. What?
Sometimes when you pronounce names, you're like Arnold Schwarzenegger. California.
Francisco Lindor. I'm trying to put a little emphasis in there. All right. Zach Wheeler versus Jacob deGrom, who, by the way, is on the injured list, right?
Fine.
All right. Reese Hoskins versus Pete Alonso.
Oh, he's sort of matching people up on each side. I understand.
Joe Girardi versus Buck Showalter.
Oh, there's a Joe Girardi text.
Jose Alvarado versus any Mets hitter.
Let's see if this is clean. That's funny. Dan from EHT says that's Joe Girardi's favorite part of managing the press conference, to show off his guns.
Yeah.
He should say, "You want tickets to the show?" PT says, "What show?" "The gun show." That's right.
And then
Nice
John
job, Dan.
Middleton versus Steve Cohen, both of the owners, majority owners of each team.
Cohen wins that one.
Yeah, he does.
Plus, does Steve Cohen
the wealthiest man in baseball.
Does Steve Cohen have good hair? I don't know what his hair looks like, because you've seen John Middleton's hair, right?
But guess what? Remember when Middleton made that comment? 2 years ago?
Stupid. Going to spend stupid money.
Stupid money.
Yeah.
Has he? I think they did a pretty good job spending money this year.
Well, that's what I want to talk to our guest at the top of the hour about. Is they spent money to go out and get more bats, and I know that if you saw the picture during spring training when they first got Schwarber, there's a picture of Charlie in Clearwater at the cage and Schwarber, and Charlie has the biggest eating grin on his face. He's like a kid in a candy store. He's so happy to be standing there talking hitting, right, with a guy like Kyle Schwarber's talent level. But what wins games, Billy? Pitching or defense, or pitching or hitting, and
pitching and defense wins games.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is, so they've got
Schwarber's
these bats, but are they doing it?
Well, here's the thing. He's only hit 169, but he's got 5 homers.
So how come I said to you going into the break that we were going to talk about our favorite Charlie Manuel stories, and then you just came right out with a completely different topic? Did you forget that I teased that going into the break?
Yeah, no, I didn't forget it, but I just thought we'd have time to get that in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. We got like 15 seconds. Now, my vivid memory is exactly what you complained about today. Okay. That poor image of poor Charlie walking out the tunnel with his Wawa bag and his chicken quesadillas. Right?
I mean, a Charlie Manuel memory.
No, that's my worst one. I'm saying.
That's your worst one?
I had to shed a tear when I saw that image.
Yeah.
Thank God he's back and he's triumphant.
But I got to tell you, people love him because there was a line a mile long for his autograph and picture.
As there should be.
Walk on water. You win a championship in Philadelphia.
Billy, I'm going to open up a time capsule, and I bet if I crack that thing open, you were waving your arms and telling everybody you knew, why didn't we get Jim Leland? I'm betting all the money I don't have in my wallet.
All right. Hour 1 is in the books. Hour 2, just as busy as ever. Charlie Manuel at the top of the hour. 609-403-0973 is the text board if you have a question for him. Former Temple great Paul Palmer at the bottom of the hour. It's the Locker Room with Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson. 97.3 ESPN. We'll be back right after this. The Down and Derby Wine Festival is back.
First Bank, our first thought is you. We put you first in all we do. Community banking for a century. We treat you like your family. Whatever you need, whatever you dream, let's make it a reality. Ocean First Bank, putting you first.
With online and mobile banking, managing your accounts has never been easier, right from the comfort of your own living room or even the sidelines at your son's Little League game. In fact, you'll have access to your accounts anytime from just about anywhere.
Whatever you need, whatever you dream, let's make it a reality. Ocean First Bank, putting you first.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
When you hear this,
They've got him again!
and this,
He scored!
and this,
Oh, boy, what a move by Embiid.
you think of us. We are sports. 97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City, a town square media station.
Red 83!
Welcome to the locker room.
Vince Papali, welcome to the locker room.
I can smell it already, Billy. What's happening, buddy?
Von Hayes, welcome to the locker room with Billy Schwein.
Yeah, hey, Billy, how you doing out there?
Rich Gannon, welcome to the locker room, Rich.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be with you.
Great Bob McElwee, NFL referee.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Craig Berube. Craig, welcome to the locker room.
All right, thanks, Billy.
We have the real Pat Croce in the locker room.
Get me off the bench, Coach.
And now here's your host, Billy Schwein.
All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schwein and Pete Thompson on a Sunday on 97.3 ESPN. And now, Pete, it's my pleasure to this. You should have seen the line. Charlie Manuel was down at the Music Pier in Ocean City. Sign autographs, a line a mile long.
He's like Willy Wonka. He puts smiles on everybody's face.
You can walk on water. You win a championship in Philadelphia, you can walk on water, right? Anywhere in this whole area.
Did you have him try? Did he go out there to the pier and see if he could do it?
All right. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome in the manager of the 2008 World Series champion Philadelphia Phillies, Charlie Manuel. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning, guys. I'm ready to go. I'm in the locker room, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. Yes, you are. And, Charlie, talk about – I'm glad you brought that up because how important is chemistry on a baseball team?
Chemistry is very important. Like when I first came to Philly, and the first thing I thought of, the kind of team that we want because we had talent. We had a lot of talent, and I started thinking about the chemistry and things like that, and that's a big part of winning. I mean, talent's good. I used to always say, "Give me the talent," and I'll. And I'll handle the rest of it. But I learned that chemistry is something that is, that the guys on the team, they set the stage for that, I think. And, as far as getting to know one another and liking to be around one another. And I think it plays a huge role, and also to the organization, and even the fans in the stands have something to do with the chemistry. I believe that, yes.
Well, John Middleton, opened up his pocketbook and they brought in a couple of big bats, Schwarber and Castellanos. These guys, it's going to take them a little while to fill out the role that they play on this team, but I'm excited about their offense.
I'm excited about their offense. I'm going to be totally surprised if we don't put up some big numbers. I feel like that. I know we will. We had a short spring training because of the strike. I'm a guy that definitely not going to make any excuses for nothing. But at the same time, too, the season started, and actually, we showed signs of the offense that we can have. and it's just a matter of time till we can get rolling. And when we do, we're going to score a lot of runs. You know, the acquisitions that we made on our team is very strong, and we got guys with proven records, and and we got a good, powerful lineup, really.
Charlie Manuel's with us here in the locker room on the Maserati, the main line hotline. And Charlie, I talked to you a little bit off the air. This is Pete Thompson, but I was telling Billy before you came on that I think the Phillies Twitter put this out, but in spring training, there was a picture of you in uniform with a baseball in your right hand, and you have, it looks like a first baseman's mitt on your left hand, and Schwarber sitting right next to you with a bat in his hand, and the two of you have the biggest grins like that I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And I got to think, Charlie, like, if you said to somebody like, where's your happiest place in the world? You'd go right there.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Actually, when we were standing there and that picture was taken, I was talking to Schwarber about a home run I saw him hit in college against Louisville one night in the ninth inning. And Louisville was beating them in Indiana by one run. I want to say the score was Indiana was beating them 3-1, and they had two outs in the bottom of the ninth inning. And the coach for Louisville brings in a sidearm left-hand pitcher, pitched to Schwarber, and he got two strikes on him, and he hit a home run to center field. That's just as far as anyone I've ever seen. They were talking to me the other day on radio about long home runs, and I should have put that in there. But that's what Schwarber and I was talking about that day. We were laughing because I was sitting up there with a lot of scouts, and that really kind of they already was turned on by him, but at the same time too, they really. I think that pumped up his grade, if you want to know the truth, because he hit a home run. It was notorious to watch it, really, or whatever you want to say, really.
Charlie Manuel's with us. Charlie, I'm going to read something to you, and I'd like you to get your reaction to it, because this is sort of a chicken and egg debate that Billy and I were having before you came on. Somebody wrote on social media, and by the way, Charlie Manuel is on social media, Billy, at CM Baseball 41, at CM Baseball 41, and that isn't some assistant. That's Charlie's real thoughts and real tweets. So, Charlie, it says here, just after the Eagles made their pick the other night, the Phillies hitters went down 1-2-3 in the ninth, completing a no-hitter for the New York mess, is what the person wrote. The Phillies spent all that money in the offseason for the hitters, and they've been incredibly inconsistent. But that's almost always the case, which is why this person argues you should build teams around pitching and defense, not hitting. Your reaction, Charlie Manuel, to that?
You know what? I gotta say, like in baseball, I think sometimes people forget. A lot of people have a lot of different philosophies, and my philosophy happens to be that I think that if I was starting a baseball team, I would try to put the best offense I possibly could be, and I would try to find an offense that could, like in a lot of ways, like running and stealing and hit and run power and things like that. And, and I would want a big, huge offense, because I think then I would go out and get that shortstop or pitcher or catcher that center fielder that people talks about all the time when they're building their team. But at the same time, too, the high offense would be my goal, because it takes care of a whole lot of things, and it creates a lot of energy. It creates a lot of energy on your team. It creates a lot of competition. And then also, too, the pitchers like it, because the starting pitchers will stay in the game longer because they feel like relaxed and everything like that. And just because they give up 2 or 3 runs early, that they're not going to be taken out of the game. And of course, the bullpen's going to, all the pitchers on our team, the bullpen's going to like it. And most of all, the hitters are going to have energy, and it's going to be life in the game. It's going to be laughter and things like that. And it is the start of my team that I would build. That would be my first goal, because I think it takes winning takes care of everything, and I think the good teams you see usually has a great offense. Although there's big teams that the Dodgers had with pitching through the years in defense and speed. But at the same time, too, from an offense standpoint, I want every option I possibly can find, like to create runs in the game, and it would be offense. That's why.
We're talking with former Phillies manager Charlie Manuel. Now, Charlie, earlier a couple of weeks ago, Alex Bohm was he was caught. After he had a tough day, I think he made like 3 errors in the field.
He knows where you're going.
Yeah, and you he was caught. People reading his lips like, "I hate this blank in place." But the Philadelphia fans, the very next day, I mean, when he owned it, he Alex Bohm came out and said, "Look, I said it. I just whatever is." He owned it. The next day, the next couple of days, the Philly fans gave him a standing ovation. I mean, what does that do for his confidence, and what do you think about that whole scenario?
Actually, I think that what he said, and he owned up to it. And but to me, like I know him, I'm gonna tell you something. Alex Baum's good. He's gonna work hard, and he's gonna try to be the best third baseman he possibly can be. And he's gonna try to be the best hitter he can possibly be, and he's got a chance to be a big time hitter. Like the other. When you start seeing him hitting fastballs, like left field and things like that, and he'll start using the whole field. He's got a chance to be a big time hitter. But getting back to what he said, actually, I think I've been there before in a moment, like in a spur moment or something like that. You say things that you really don't believe mean, and I think he really meant that he was so down that he was playing bad. That like that he thought that he sucked, and he just happened to take it out on Philadelphia.
Yeah, and they.
I want to tell you something. They did. I want to tell you something. Our fans reacted in a very. Actually, I thought it was very professional of it, if you want to know the truth, because they understand, and I give a lot of credit. Ever since the times I was managing and those winning teams that we had, our fans definitely was behind us, and they liked who we were. To me, we kind of won them over with the characters, but also our style of play. And if you stop and think, people used to scream at all the time that I couldn't play small ball and stuff like that. We had one of the best small ball teams in baseball. Like we could manufacture runs in every way. That's the way that I've always looked at baseball. And but the fans itself, they definitely have helped us be successful, at the time that I was here.
Those people that were saying that didn't see 89 wins, 92 wins, 93 wins, 97 wins, 102 wins during those regular seasons. Charlie Manuel's with us here on the Locker Room on the Maserati, the Mainline Hotline. And Charlie, obviously 2008, you guys win it all. You give that unbelievable speech in the awesome suit. This is for Philadelphia. You said that night, right? Which got a rousing ovation and guaranteed that you'd never pay for a meal or a beverage for the rest of your life in this area. But 2009 is the towel that I held up, Charlie, because I still had this in my room, and it's got the World Series. I think it's got a Taco Bell logo on it, right? And I said to Billy, like, man, how did we not win a second one? Isn't that a question you get a lot? Like, how did you guys not win it in 09?
Right. Yeah. I want to tell you something. If we had won in 09 and beat the Yankees, I think we still might be celebrating that today. That would have been really, I want to tell you something. That right there would have really been a big piece of the cake. To me, my ultimate goal would be to beat the New York Yankees in the World Series. That would be fantastic. And of course, that was a kind of a letdown for us. But at the same time, baseball is a funny game. I always say that. If we could have did that, that would have got real big in Philadelphia. That would be tremendous.
So, Charlie, at one point last night's game, and not to go too specific or anything, but I know, like, you infamously once benched Jimmy Rollins for not running out of play. And last night, Billy and I had the same moment where we saw Odubel break for home, and in a 1-0 game. Yeah, you had a guy on third base with one out, and it's a bonehead mistake. It is what it is. But how do you think? Like, how
do you handle that?
Yeah, how would you handle that? And how do you think like Joe handles that?
I think it's to me, like Joe's a manager, like I was a manager, things like this, and there's still every team's got a manager, things like that. I don't like to get involved in all that, but I'll tell you this: if when he came back to the dugout, I would say something to him, and at the same time too, like I would, I would handle it. I mean, it would definitely get handled the way that I wanted it to. But at the same time, too, I've always looked across the other side of the field. I've never ever wanted to say something about another manager, how he did something, because that's none of my business. Like I wanted to take care of our business and beat up on people. I wanted to win the game. And but when you do things wrong that I didn't like, I was going to tell you about it. And actually, a lot of time, like I didn't have many rules, and I used to say that because of when it comes to discipline or something. But when you do something I don't like, I got the option to make up new rules or
that's like that's Harry S. Truman. The buck stops here, right? That's Harry S. Truman. That's so great. Charlie Manuel's with us, and Charlie, you're right. I'm sorry if I put you a little bit close to a bad edge there, but I talked to Jim. I talked to Jim Lynham, and he doesn't want to criticize Doc Rivers, or you talk to. So I understand the balance you're trying to do.
Right.
Hey, Charlie, let me ask you this question real quick. Charlie, let me ask you this question real quick, because during the last week, we had a game where Angel Hernandez was the umpire, and he missed 19 pitches. Now, it wasn't just for one side; it was for both sides. How come Joe Girardi, and I know I'm not going to ask you to question Joe Girardi and what he does and what he didn't do, but if that was you in the dugout, how would have you handled it?
Well, what I can tell you, in some ways I can tell you what I would, like what I would do or something like that. But in another way, like at that moment, I can't exactly tell you what I would do, but more than likely, I would definitely say something that
you probably would have got tossed. You probably would have got tossed, right, Charlie? You probably would have got thrown out of the game.
Usually when you leave a dugout, there's a good chance I'm going to get tossed. Because I definitely, at the same time, I also believe there's time in the game when and the morale of your club or how you playing or how Daddy can get on the field. When it's time for you to go out there and get thrown out of the game, I believe that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's great, Charlie. Before we let you go, this is going to be our last question for you. But I did reference your Twitter. I'll say it again: at CM Baseball 41. At CM Baseball 41 is Twitter. And I first noticed your Twitter account when we were in the middle of this damn pandemic that took forever, and you and Bo would like tweet back and forth with each other, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Charlie Manuel's Twitter, and he's using it like." And you can tell immediately, hey, there's no, this ain't fake Charlie Manuel.
No, this is the real.
You can tell it's you. But I also loved your show, Charlie, with the down the line with Charlie and Bowa. Are we going to see any more of those?
Right now, no, not. Like it's still when I say they, like the people involved, we're trying to work something out and things. But I totally enjoy the show. I thought in my mind, the show that I really love is letting people kind of interview Bo and I. Look, I'm not an actor. I never claimed to be, but at the same time, I would like to get to know people, and it doesn't matter what kind of work they're in or whatever. But I would like to hand him the mic and let him interview Bo and I and ask us questions about baseball and why they like it, or why they like the Eagles or anything in general, really. And hopefully, like we can work something out. I kind of like the show, but at the same time too, like I want it to be a success. I want people to like it and things like that.
Well, we loved it. And I loved that, when they did the ergometers, right? They were like looking at Dad Vale rowing, and Charlie's like, "Yeah, go ahead, Bo, you do it." Right? But then when they got on the Ocean City Boardwalk, popcorn, hey, give me that bucket.
Well, Charlie, listen, we hope you enjoyed Ocean City yesterday. we certainly enjoyed having you on the show today, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely great, guys. Hey, absolutely tremendous. One thing, before I leave, I'd like to say about the Phillies. The Phillies came back last night and got a real big win. And Castellanos made a good statement the other day when they asked him, "What are you going to do?" And he says, "We're going to forget about it."
Oh yeah.
And I think that was a good statement to make because like when you get, I've been on teams before. Not too many times that I've been on teams where we got no hit, but at the same time too, like you just forget about it. You just forget about it the next day, come out and make sure it don't happen again. And I thought Castellanos gave a good answer when somebody asked him a question.
Well, we got the Phillies and Mets tonight, Game 3, the rubber match.
And you can hear it right here on 97.3 ESPN. How was that plug?
Thank you very much, Charlie Manuel. We really appreciate it. We'll do it again. We look forward to doing it again.
Yeah.
All right, take care, Charlie.
Thank you for having me.
There he is, Charlie Manuel on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. I like the one thing that he said is the fact that you have to have a short memory. Yeah, they got shut out.
Flush it is what they talk about.
Because it's 162 games in a year.
Right. It is a long season, and what are you going to do? You got no hit. What are you going to do? I mean, and it's interesting because we've heard both perspectives again today, and I'll repeat that. I thought the text message was great, and again, 609-403-0973. If you have a question now for Paul Palmer, because we're down 2 guests and we got 1 still to come, but I thought that text message was great. Does it sting more because it was against 5 guys? Well, no, it's much harder what Tommy Greene said to pick up 5 guys than it is 1 when you see 1 guy 2, 3, 4 times. But man, and here's the interesting too. Charlie says that he wants to continue that show, but you almost kind of, if you read between the lines there, Billy, you almost kind of felt like, can we do the show where we're just talking about baseball and we don't have to do gimmicky crap? He didn't say that, but that's how I interpreted it.
All right.
Pay the bills. Pay the bills.
Second hour of the Locker Room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, experience lively atmosphere in the pub. There's a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season that appeal to everyone. For more information, call Great Bay. Go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston. Have you heard of New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog?
Oh, my mic was off. Sorry.
Those worrisome thoughts that creep in your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of time on the road? Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal, by the way, happy birthday, Debbie, and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. It's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869, or send Debbie an email at Debbie at mywinterwatchdog.com. All right, when we return, we'll continue with more here in the Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN.
Ocean City's real estate market is red hot, and you need an agent that has the knowledge and expertise
Enough said. Acura. Precision crafted performance.
Visit your Delaware Valley Acura dealer to find your Acura today.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson received a couple text messages and a couple tweets saying that they could listen to Charlie Manuel all day.
Wish we had another hour.
Talking baseball.
It would have been great. That's by the way, that's the name of his show. If they get a show like that, him and Larry Bowa. I mean, not for nothing, but I know people that work in like the social media variety. You don't have to be on television anymore.
Yeah,
if he wants to do that, thank you, Jason. If he wants to do that, like what he's talking about, just him and Bowa being interviewed,
just to be themselves.
I'm pretty sure we know some people that could facilitate that. You know what I mean?
So we ran a little long with Charlie Manuel, but as expected, because he's just a great person to have
we'll
on the
give
show.
him more time. You know, it's fine. I do want one thing because we're going to transition to football, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Wait, do you have to do live reads here too?
Yeah, just one.
All right. Well, here you go. This is, since we're transitioning to football, now this is in college football, Paul Palmer coming up at the bottom of the hour. But, dear Howie Roseman, I called you some dumb names last night when I saw that you didn't draft Nakobe Dean in the second round, but you took a solid center. Then you came back in the third round and stole Mr. Dean as the biggest value pick in the draft. One thing I've always known about you is that you were always good at drafting in the trenches. You took away your own deficiencies by trading for a proven, young, solid wide receiver in A.J. Brown instead of rolling the dice again. Hey, you're killing it in this draft, Howie. We apologize for ever doubting you, even though you can't hear it. Sincerely, Eagles Nation.
Oh, how about that? That's right. And by the way, it has to translate now onto the football field. I mean, we can know this is all pomp and circumstance, right?
All hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams.
Except for A.J. Brown.
Oh,
yes, there's some hopes there too, but I mean, he's the most proven commodity of everything you're getting.
But I mean, you're ecstatic. I mean, Eagles Nation is ecstatic about the draft. It's got to translate into wins.
I would have liked to have seen a defensive player taken. Paul Palmer didn't play defense; he played offense.
He ran fast, that's for sure, and he ran well.
Played for Bruce Arians. You think there were some expletives that Bruce Arians might have muttered along
and by the way,
way?
Bruce Arians has a lot of Temple people with him down in Tampa Bay.
He had him because
no
now he's retired.
Right? But I mean, even in Arizona,
Bruce Arians is a great guy.
Yeah,
just like Charlie Manuel's a great guy.
Well, and you got to be excited about this because you're a Temple grad.
Yeah, man. Maybe I'll sing the fight song for him.
All right, he'd like that, I'm sure.
He probably doesn't know there's words.
All right, the second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, experience lively atmosphere in the pub. For more information on how to become a member, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at RDS Auto Group at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. When we return, we'll talk to Paul Palmer. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schwein and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN.
It's Sixers playoff basketball tomorrow on 97.3 ESPN.
With a personal unsecured loan from First Harvest Credit Union, you can borrow between $5,000 and $30,000 with rates as low as 7.99 annual percentage rate. To apply, visit firstharvestcu.com or visit a branch by June 30th. For additional information as to costs, call 800-582-7640. Must apply by June 30th, 2022. Subject to qualifications and approval. Minimum FICO score 720. Other restrictions apply. Equal housing lender.
All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schwein, Pete Thompson. So, Pete, the Philadelphia sports writers having their dinner tomorrow night.
I believe it's pswa.com, although I helped them with their website one time. I didn't design it or anything. I connected them with a guy, and I think they changed the address. I'm trying to look it up right now. This is it. phillysportswriters.com, PHILLY sportswriters.com, all together. The banquet's tomorrow night. And you're going to go. You're going to be there.
I'm going to stop in.
Yeah.
So
the old Crown Plaza.
When I saw that our next guest, Paul Palmer, is going to be honored, I had to call him.
I love this guy.
This is great because
I've met him once.
Paul Palmer led in 1986. By the way, he was a consensus All-American, college All-American. He rushed for 1,866 all-purpose yards, breaking Marcus Allen's record at the time. Marcus Allen, right? Wait a minute. He's in the College Hall of Fame. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome in former Temple great football player Paul Palmer. What's up, Paul?
How you guys doing, man? How you guys doing?
We are
rocking for the intro. I appreciate it.
We are rocking and rolling, and that's only the tip of the iceberg there, Paul Palmer. This is your surprise. Are you ready for this?
Yeah. Let me hear this.
Okay.
Let me hear this.
So you played Temple football, right? I went to Temple, and in my class, taught by the late, great Lee Carl was the name of the professor, Billy. He had white hair, and Billy had more energy than you, me, and Paul Palmer combined.
That's a lot.
As an assignment in class, Professor Carl made us stand up. Like a
rookie at the
basically like Dead Poets Society. He made us all stand up. He projected on the board, and we had to learn the words to the Temple football fight song, which I didn't know there was words. I'd only ever heard it in the band.
Let's go. You're on.
Without further ado, here we go. Paul Palmer, this is for you. Fight, Temple, fight on, fight with all your might. Fight for the cherry and white. Keep the colors high. Hold that ball and hit that line. All the Temple stars will shine. Skill and courage win the game. Fight on, Temple, fight.
That's terrible. That is terrible. Wait. You know, I'm going to tell you what's really funny is that, like, a lot of times I hear these old songs and I think to myself, God, they need to change these songs. This whole rah, 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 sizzle, bah, kind of whole thing, they're absolutely terrible. But I also think that in order to go to Temple, the first class you take, you need to learn that song. Everyone that goes to Temple should learn that song.
Now, be honest. Did you know the words?
Heck no. Heck no.
Because Billy, everybody knows. Everybody, it's easy. Look, all of it. T for Temple U University. I mean, everybody can do that.
Yeah, I know that one.
Right. That's like your bachelor's degree. But if you want the master's degree, you got to, and God bless that guy, man. He's long gone, Paul Palmer. But Professor Lee Carl, who is a PR professor, I can't believe two things. One, that he made us learn that song and do it. And two, I'm 51. And I just sang that without any script in front of me, no YouTube, no internet, no nothing.
Right.
And I know every stinking word.
Well, Paul, you're going to be inducted.
You're to your head.
Paul, you're going to be honored at the Philadelphia Sports Writers Dinner. It's such a great honor. How do you feel when you got the call? How did you feel about that?
Wait, let me tell you. This is God's honest truth. Speaking of another surprise, I have a surprise for you guys. I didn't know that I was going to get an award. I had no idea. I was
surprised.
I know. Yeah. How about that? I was informed that they were having a sports writers dinner, and I was going to sit at Temple's table. It was supposed to be Joe Klecko and Danny Klecko and Tim Perry and myself, but no one said anything. Then I started looking at social media, and through social media, it was saying I was receiving an award. So, look. Another surprise. This is going to be the third surprise. I have no idea what the award is going to be. So I'll just be surprised when I get it. It'll be great.
Do you have to make a speech?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I was told I may
Let's
have
start
to
writing it
speak.
now.
I may speak.
Here's the speech.
Award, and then I heard.
The 3 B's, Paul. Be brief, brother.
Yes, you got it, man.
Paul,
got it, man.
Paul,
do it right. Do it right and do it light.
Paul, talk to us about playing for Bruce Arians. I know you were close to him, and he obviously gets into the NFL. He's in Arizona, then he goes to Tampa Bay and wins the Super Bowl. But you played for him when he was, obviously a lot younger. Talk to us about Coach Arians, what he meant to you.
Oh, man, you know what? When you're a high school kid who's kind of small, great high school stats, great numbers, but kind of small with shaky grades, and there's only one Division I coach that thinks you're good enough to be a Division I ball player, you have to love the guy. I loved him from the very moment we've met. We've stayed in touch forever. We text now because I don't like to type this time. We text now. But he did for me what no one else was willing to do. He changed my life by just simply offering me a scholarship and giving me an opportunity to play college football.
That's incredible. We're talking with Temple football great Paul Palmer. He's going to be getting an award.
By the way, that was another guy it took a long time to catch up with, and I think he was in Arizona at the time when the Maxwells were still down here in Atlantic City, and I'm on a stage somewhere, and I'm like, man, there's Jim Kelly. Man, there's Mariota was the college player that year. There's Andre Reed. Like, I'm geeking out. Yeah. And then I turn around, and in his Kangol cap, just chill as a mofo, is Bruce Arians. And I pulled him off to the side, and I said, listen, I went to Temple. And he goes, I love Temple. When we start going down, I was talking to him, Paul, about when I was there, which was after your time, but when I was there, they had Jerry Burnt, they had Ron Dickerson, and I remember Paul a year where they were the most improved team in the country, and they couldn't even get the damn Pullman Weed Eater Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how little respect Temple football had. So as a guy that played in that system, put them on the map a little bit, but when you look at modern Temple football, especially I guess what Matt Rule did, to me, he really elevated the top of the mountaintop was when College Game Day went to Independence Hall before that Notre Dame game. I mean, what's your thoughts on Temple football now, Paul, versus what it was and facilities and all that, when you were there?
Well, first, I give credit first to Al Golden. I think Al Golden is the one that got our feet underneath us and moved us in the right direction. I think what Matt Rule did, Matt Rule took pages from his playbook and took it to obviously to another level. It's crazy because we've been trying to do things and trying to get on top. Now there's so many bowl games. I think 3 of my 4 years I would have went to bowl games because all you needed was a 6-5 record.
Right.
But back then, only the top 20 teams got bowl games. If you were in the top 20, you didn't sniff a bowl game. Now there's almost 80 bowl games. So there's teams that are going and having bowl success, and they're going in at 5-7. Yeah. And then winning these games and then acting like this is a great season. Things have just changed so much. I'm thankful for what Matt Rule did and Al Golden did. I think these past 3 years have been absolutely brutal. Brutal. And it hasn't looked like any Temple football that we have gotten used to more recently with Matt Rule and Al Golden. But now I think Temple is kind of moving in the right direction. I like our new coach. I think Temple's moving in the right direction.
And we're talking with former Temple great football player Paul Palmer. Paul, are you still with you're coaching at Haddon Heights? Are you still with Haddon Heights?
No, you know what? I'm not allowed to coach, so I haven't been coaching for the past you know what happened? Since Reddick was about to get drafted,
right?
I haven't been coaching, but I work in the building. I work with the special needs kids.
Okay.
Let's just say I mentor my behind off. I try to get to know a lot of the football players, and I try to be around these kids. So if there's any way that I can help them, I will. So let's just say I mentor my ASS off.
All right. So you are close friends with Hassan Reddick, who just signed with the Eagles.
Yes. When I was coaching, Hassan was one of my ball players, and I tell people all the time, man, you never heard anything bad about him in school. He always got good grades. Every year for football, he looked better and better physically. He just had some crazy injury that he couldn't shake in high school, but he is he's really, we're really proud of him at Haddon Heights. We're really proud of what he has done since leaving Haddon Heights. And we're all excited. I saw a couple kids from the high school ran into him somewhere and took a couple pictures with him around the draft day. So everyone's excited for him around here.
Paul Palmer's with us on the Maserati, the Mainline hotline. And Paul, since you know Hassan Reddick so well, and I was at that draft, by the way, in 2017, because it was in Philly, and our whole radio station went up there, and we did our whole show from 2 to 6 up there. And as the draft picks were coming, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to take Hassan Reddick. And of course, they ended up with Derek Barnett, who ended up making the biggest play in Eagles defensive history. So I can't really knock the pick, but I'm thrilled that Hassan Reddick is here. I will say this, Paul Palmer, since I sang to you on live radio, you got to put a little bee in Hassan's bonnet there and whisper and say, yeah, you ought to go on with these crazy guys on Sunday, So we're counting on you, buddy.
I will. I will absolutely put a bug in Hassan's ear. And let me tell you something. I didn't go to my draft. I was going to be in Philly. My great grandmother got sick, who raised me from the time I was 2. So instead of being in Philly with the team, I went home to Maryland to be around her. And unfortunately, may she rest in peace, that she passed on my draft day a couple hours after I got my phone call. But with that being said, because of Reddick, I was at that draft. That was the only draft I've ever been to because of him, and I was there with his family, and it was absolutely amazing. He got his phone call, and as I was leaving, I called him and I said, "Hey, man, I'm so proud of you, Haas." He says, "Coach P, I love you, Coach P. I'm excited." I said, "Dude, I love you too. I can't wait." He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Coach, I gotta go." And then it took me another 2 weeks to talk. It took me another 2 weeks to talk to him. So that was that draft day was pretty cool for Philadelphia itself. And for him and a lot of local people, it was a pretty incredible draft in Philly.
That leads to a technology question for me, Paul Palmer, in that, he probably looked at his phone and said, "Sorry, Coach, I got to go," because he sees an Arizona area code or whatever. You know what I mean? Paul Palmer, first of all, he says he wasn't at the draft. Secondly, they didn't have any damn cell phones when Paul Palmer was drafted. So, what was your your draft night like? Every time the phone rang and you'd be like, "Hello," and they'd be like, "Yeah, this is the Jets." And you'd be like, "Really?" And they'd be like, "No, it's Dookie from down the street." Click. And you'd be like, "God, stop doing that."
It was kind of like that. I think what else is crazy is that, like I said, I was raised by my great grandmother. She didn't need cable. She just needed ABC, CBS, NBC, maybe PBS. So I go home, right? So I go home for the draft, and this stuff is on the internet. This stuff is on YouTube. I go home. And I'm answering the phone, and I have it looked like a bat phone. It was a red phone with the spiral cord on it and push button. And I'm answering the phone, and people calling, I'm hanging up here. It's exactly like you said. People call, "Who is it? Who is it?" I'm like, "Get off my phone. I'm waiting for a damn phone call."
Because back then you just got a busy signal if if somebody else was trying to get in.
I need the real phone call. I don't need you busting my stones.
Hey, Paul, listen.
Like I said, she only had 3 or 4 channels. She didn't have cable. So we weren't even watching the draft. We're sitting there, we're all in the house staring at the damn phone, waiting for it to ring.
Man. I'll tell you what, Paul. Listen, man, we wanted to get you on. We're so happy for you. You're one of the good guys, Temple alum, and we wanted to get you on to congratulate you. And I'll see you tomorrow night. I'm going to stop in.
Yes, please. I can't wait. I'll be there. Like I said, I'll be at the table. I heard Danny and Joe Kleck. I can't wait to see Joe and Danny. Yeah. I got to take a picture with both of them. My wife will be there also. We're going to have a good time. It's a great night. It's very, very humbling to be around a lot of the people that are there, and I love it. I love it every time I've gone.
All right, Paul Palmer, have a great rest of your Sunday. We really appreciate it, and we'll do it again.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Anytime. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
There he is, Paul Palmer on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. I want to remind people the second hour of the Locker Room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, experience lively atmosphere in the pub. There's a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season to appeal to everyone. For more information, go to greatbay.com or call them at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston for us. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunick. But were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey that attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see if it's fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give them a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. That was fun. Talking to Paul Palmer.
I've enjoyed every interview today immensely for varying reasons. You know what I mean? You had Tommy Greene talking about the Phillies-Mets rivalry and just giving us some like old 700 level fights that were going on. Yeah,
and seeing them
right, and seeing them from the dugout and being like, "Whoa, look at that!" Right? Yeah, Charlie in there, like just really having a good time talking baseball and really, like how he would handle things and how he feels beloved in Philadelphia, which he is. And then now you had Paul Palmer,
genuine,
visually painting that. I just knew it the minute that
he
I
had
thought
told me
about
that
it
before, actually.
But I didn't realize that they didn't even have cable. Like they didn't even have cable,
right?
And so of course here I am acting
now you got
out
3
like,
stations carrying.
Who is it? Is it the Jets? No, it's my friend Dookie. Get off the phone.
All right. When we return, we'll wrap it up. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson right here on 97.3 ESPN.
Major League Baseball this weekend on ESPN Radio.
There's the birds, the spring breeze blowing through the leaves, and the Ryobi Whisper Series blower. And that's the new Ryobi Whisper walk mower. And there's the Ryobi Whisper Series string trimmer, all with interchangeable lithium-ion batteries and gas-like power. It feels like spring at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
All right, Pete, how do people get tickets to the Philadelphia Sportswriters dinner?
Well, the easiest way to get tickets is to go to their website, which is phillysportswriters.com, phillysportswriters.com, and they got big banner right at the top that says banquet tickets. I mean, you got Dick Vermeil. I forgot about Doug Collins. I knew there was a Sixers sort of tie in there. Dick Vermeil, Doug Collins, Mark Howe, two-time Olympic gold medalist, Carly Lloyd. You know, it's now called the Doubletree by Hilton.
There you go.
But you and I are going to call it Crown Plaza for the rest of our lives. I mean, come on.
I'm going to try to sneak on down there. Woo! What a show today, Pete.
We had a good time, didn't we? We had a really fun time.
And you're having fun.
And we hope that you all out there had a good time as well.
All right. Real quick, Pete, the Sixers, without Joel Embiid, do they have a shot?
Well, people keep acting like Chicken Little and the sky is falling and the sky is falling. Have they forgotten that the Sixers won in Miami during the regular season without Joel Embiid?
And they didn't, but I don't think they had Jimmy Butler either.
Details. No, look, it's a significant injury. It's going to make a difference, but I do think Joel Embiid will come back and play at some point. The question is, what point is that? And is the series already out of reach by
the way, Lowry's dealing with a hamstring. Oladipo, although I like him, he's.
Oh, this is fun. I love it when you say NBA names. Keep going.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, you haven't screwed anybody up yet. But
all right, how about Ben Adebayo? Did I say that right?
Sure.
I mean, are you doom and gloom or
about the series?
Yeah, about the series.
I was so excited about the series that I wanted Mike Gill and I to go up as members of the press next Friday night, and then now
you still do that.
No, if Embiid's not going to play, then
he might be back for Game 3.
Like Lazarus, he's going to rise from the dead.
Why not?
Mike on Facebook says, "Great show, thank you, Mike. We appreciate you checking in." And everybody, quite frankly, Joe D with his questions, Dan and EHT,
Jason Downey with a nice comment.
Yeah, very, very much so.
I was doom and gloom yesterday, but you know what? Once again, the David versus Goliath scenario, right? Everybody's counting the Sixers out. Who's to say that one of those guys don't get hurt on Miami Heat and they lose one of their stars?
Remember the name Charles Bassey, right? There you go. I mean, Paul Millsap, sure, but remember the name Charles Bassey. Could be the X Factor,
right? Anything can happen in the world of sports.
It's possible. You and I should go play the lottery.
Wow, Pete,
we're so homers.
Philadelphia Phillies tonight. Who's on the mound?
You know who's on the mound. You forgot already?
No, I'm asking you to tell our listeners.
Oh, you forgot already? It's Scherzer for them.
I know Scherzer. You said it once, and I want you to reiterate.
Well, I forgot already. Who's our guy? Oh, Eflin. Zach Eflin.
Zach Eflin.
Why would you do that to me? I was doing great. That was my only mistake.
I said if Phillies get to Scherzer tonight, they get to him.
The headline says Mets take on Phillies in series rubber match.
And Jeff Dowling's going to owe me a lunch after tonight.
I bet the Mets win.
Great show today, Pete. Want to thank Charlie Manuel. Want to thank Tommy Greene, as always. Paul Palmer for checking in. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. Pete, I'll see you next week.
Take care, buddy.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Philadelphia Phillies tonight right here on 97.3 ESPN. I'll see you next week.
You have the choice, whether it's going out to dinner or ordering takeout at a low